Now, John, I get a question from a lot of agents as they're starting out. A lot of them already have ideas, big accounts that they want to land. A lot of them want to hunt elephants and land the big account. Can you comment a little bit on that and how the best way to approach that is?
Yeah, from a couple different perspectives. Big accounts are awesome. Don't get me wrong. I think who is it? I mean, you've heard a quote that said, go big or stay home. And Donald Trump, when he does his TV shows, says, big deals are better than little. That's true. But typically, the big deals don't come from new people pursuing them. And they come from a different way. I've written a bunch of big accounts, but it wasn't because I pursued them. They came as a result of them being referred to me. So when somebody new starts out, really they don't have the referral network to send those to them, nor do they have the experience or credibility or confidence to wheel in and land them. So, and I always give the story about the hunting elephants means kind of like the analogy would be if you lived out in the bush and you're the hunter for the village, if you go traipsing off trying to bag an elephant, your village is going to starve by the time maybe you never find an elephant. The village starves. That really wasn't, you didn't really do a very good job. But if you go out and you're getting small game and some medium game and you're feeding the village and everything is going well, and as long as they're taken care of, or while they're being taken care of, then go ahead and hunt for some, spend a little bit of extra time hunting elephants. And one of the cool things, I think one of the great things about sales is that one of the inspiring things is you can set your target on an elephant, but don't let the village starve in the process. If your village is fed, everything is good, the future looks great, and fine, take that extra time that you have rather than an hour lunch, spend a half an hour every day, and focus on a few big deals. They take a long time to gel, especially if you're chasing them. They take a long time, and that's when I first started out in sales. It was years and years before. I mean, not years and years, but a handful of years before I ever wrote anything really big. Because my referral network, I didn't quite understand how to build that quite yet. And since that's where most all of the big deals I've ever written came from, it couldn't come because I never developed it. But I needed to make money, and so I needed to get to the decision maker. One of the big things in big deals, you don't know who the decision maker is. So, what do? Wheel into the retail level and try to go from there? Do you call a corporate? How do you go? And if you're new and if you don't have a little bit of business under your belt, when you contact this organization, this elephant, that every one of your competitors is also contacted, you better say something different that sounds smart, or they're not going to give you the time of day. So I focused on little deals, sole proprietors, one decision maker, because I could go in, build a rapport and relationship with the decision maker, and get the deal right there. Now, I found that anytime there's two people, a partnership, for example, you've got to track down two people, maybe get them there. You got to get them there. Anybody who's going to be a decision maker, they must be there at the time, because if you've got a partner and I'm presenting to you, go, hey, John, just talk to me. If my partner has any questions, I'll take care of it. No, you won't, because it doesn't work like that. Because she'll, whatever, will ask you a question. You'll go, God, I don't know the answer to that. Then you're going to come back to me. I'm going to come back to you. You're going to go back to them. And it's like, you know what? By the time that deal never goes, because they don't. But by the time how much time you spent on that. Meanwhile, if initially when I contacted you, I said, hey, Chad, when I come out and get you set up on this, is there anybody else that needs to be present, to finalize this? And if you go, nope, just me, great. Now I know when I get out there, it's only you. If you get out there and go, oh, you know what, my wife also wants to be involved. Great. Is she here? No. You know what, let's do this one we can both do together. Don't waste your time. And I know that takes a little bit of willpower. Just go, hey, let's reschedule, and then paint the picture so it does make sense to them. Go, you know what, I've gone through it before where you're probably going to have questions. Or she's going to probably, does she ever have questions for you?
Right.
Yeah, she does. She always does. And so what's going to happen is she's going to ask you, maybe you know, maybe you don't know. She's going to ask you back and forth and go, oh, you know what, that's a really good question. Didn't occur to me. So, and not that you don't ask good questions, you ask great ones, but let's make it easier on you and just set a time where we can all be together. Does that make sense?
It does.
Good. And then we'll set up a time if we've got to get her on the phone but if you don't do that, you're just chasing it all over the place. And I always think of the number of times I touch a file or a contact or whatever. Let's say I make $100 on a sale. If I touch it once, I made $100 a sale. If I touch it twice, it's 50. 4 is 25. And it gets diluted, and pretty soon it's not worth doing. So use your time effectively up front. And if you're going to go for the elephants again, they typically come from referral network. But if you want to chase them, that's cool, because when you bag them, they're really exciting. And big deals like Donald Trump, big deals are cool. You want to get big deals, and there's truth in that because they're really fun. So that's you just have to be mindful that they're good. Typically they come from if they pursue you, even better. And how you get them to pursue you is that referral network that we talk about building, and it's really slick, and it makes big deals, big elephants come to your doorstep. You don't have to go chase them around; they'll come to you. But there's a little savvy involved in thinking about it and setting it up a certain way, automating it. It really works pretty slick.